All right, so you want to make a difference in the environment in South Africa? Awesome.
Hmm.
But where do you even start?
Right.
It's like you're passionate, you care about the planet, but like, how do you turn that into an actual career?
Exactly.
And that's what we're diving into today.
Yeah.
The power of joining the right organizations, especially in South Africa, to like turbocharge your environmental career.
Mm.
We're talking serious advantages here, skills, connections, the stuff that makes you stand out, in that competitive job market.
Yeah. And it's interesting. People think, oh, professional organizations, that's for people who are like already established in their career.
Yeah, you think like you've got to have, years of experience under your belt,
Exactly. And that's so not true.
especially in South Africa.
In South Africa, these organizations are like, they're all about raising the bar for the whole field, whether you're just starting out, fresh out of university or you've been doing this for a while.
So what is it about these organizations that makes them so powerful? Like, especially for someone who's just starting out.
It's all about the framework. They provide a framework. Think about it. They set the standards for the profession, right? They offer training. They offer top-notch training to keep you updated. And they create these amazing networking opportunities that you just wouldn't find elsewhere.
So it's like, it's not just, oh, I'm a member, and you put it on your resume.
Yeah.
It's like you're actually gaining this, like, credibility and skills that employers actually look for.
Exactly.
Especially when you're starting out.
Yeah.
That can make all the difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in some cases, membership in these organizations, it's not just a bonus, it's a requirement for certain jobs.
Okay, I'm starting to see the value here.
Yeah.
So let's dive into some specifics.
Right.
Like, what organizations should every budding environmentalist in South Africa have on their radar?
Let's start with IAPASA,
IAPASA.
the Environmental Assessment Practitioners Association of South Africa.
Okay, got it.
IAPASA.
IAPASA. So let's say I'm fresh out of university. I'm like brimming with ideas, ready to make a real impact. Where does IAPASA fit in?
Okay, so IAPASA, they're all about regulating environmental impact assessments, or EIAs.
EIAs.
Yeah. Have you heard of those?
I've heard of them, but honestly, I don't really know what they entail.
Okay, so those are studies that assess the potential effects of a project, any project really, on the environment. And they're a critical part of pretty much any development project in South Africa, from building new infrastructure to mining, anything.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say a company wants to build a new wind farm.
Okay.
Okay. So the EIA would look at all the potential environmental impacts, the effect on bird migration, noise pollution for nearby communities, visual impact on the landscape, that kind of thing.
Okay, so if you're interested in that kind of career, like analyzing impacts and figuring out ways to, mitigate them, IAPASA is the organization to be a part of.
Exactly. And they don't just provide training and resources for conducting EIAs, but their stamp of approval, it's often a requirement for many environmental consulting and planning jobs. Think about it. You're an employer. You're looking to hire someone to conduct an EIA. You want to know they meet the highest professional standards, right?
So it's like a guarantee.
Yeah.
Like a guarantee of quality and expertise.
Exactly.
Which in a competitive job market is huge.
Huge. And also, just having that IAPASA registration, it shows a commitment to professional development, and that speaks volumes to potential employers.
Okay, IAPASA, definitely on my list.
Yeah.
Now, what about SAC-SP?
South
South African Council for Natural Scientific Professions.
Yeah.
How does that fit into the picture?
So SAC-SP has a wider scope. They regulate a whole range of natural science professions, so that includes environmental science, but also chemistry, geology, and more. They're like, the gatekeepers, making sure that anyone practicing these professions in South Africa meets certain standards, rigorous standards.
So if I'm like a budding environmental scientist,
Yeah.
what does as an SP registration actually mean for me? Like, what doors does it open?
SNSP registration, it's not just a piece of paper.
Right.
It carries legal weight, so it allows you to sign off on official scientific reports, and that's crucial for demonstrating your credibility and your expertise.
So, like, for instance, if I'm working on a project that requires an environmental impact assessment and I need to submit a report to the government.
Exactly. And if you're SNSP registered, your signature on that report, it carries legal weight, which means the clients, government agencies, they know they can trust your work.
That's huge. I mean, it's a huge responsibility,
It
but
is.
also a huge privilege.
Exactly.
Like, it shows that level of trust
Right.
and recognition
Yeah.
that could really boost your career.
Absolutely. It's a mark of professionalism that can open doors to higher level projects, consulting opportunities, even expert witness testimony in legal cases.
So it's like it's more than just knowledge.
Mhm.
It's about having the authority to actually put that knowledge into practice. I
Exactly.
like it.
And like IAPASA, SAC and ESP has different membership levels to accommodate people at different career stages.
Hmm.
So you can start out as a candidate natural scientist while you're still studying or getting experience, and then progress to professional natural scientist once you meet all the requirements.
So it's like a clear pathway
Yes.
for career progression, which is, I think, when you're starting out, that's really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered IAPASA, SAC, and ESP, both very much in the South African context. What about, like, broadening our horizons a bit? That's where IAIA comes in, right?
You got it. The International Association for Impact Assessment,
IAIA.
IAIA, yeah. They're all about connecting environmental professionals globally. It's fantastic. Anyone who wants to tap into international best practices, cutting-edge research, a network that spans continents, IAIA.
You know, I've always been fascinated by the idea of working on environmental projects abroad. How does IAIA help make that happen?
Oh, through IAIA, you can access workshops and conferences, bringing together experts from all over the world.
Wow.
You can learn about the latest developments in impact assessment, share your own experiences, and build relationships with people who might be working on projects that, you're really interested in.
So it's like a global community
Yeah,
of environmental professionals,
exactly.
all working towards the same goal.
And IAIA is a great way to stay ahead of the curve. They publish journals, they have webinars, they provide access to a wealth of resources, to keep you up to date on the latest trends, best practices in the field.
Okay, IAIA is definitely going on my list of organizations to check out.
Yeah.
So we've talked about IAPASA, ensuring those high standards in South Africa, SAC and ASP, regulating those scientific professions, and IAIA, connecting with that global expertise.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Oh, really?
South Africa has such a vibrant environmental scene, and there are a few other organizations that are worth mentioning,
Okay.
especially if you have more specialized interests.
Ooh, specialized knowledge. I love it.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So let's talk about the Geological Society of South Africa,
Okay.
or GSSA.
GSSA.
As the name suggests, they're all about advancing the field of geoscience.
Okay.
So we're talking geology, mineralogy, geophysics, the whole shebang. But what's fascinating here is how they connect the dots between things like mining and environmental protection.
So, like, someone studying geology might not immediately think environmental career, but GSSA is kind of showing how those fields actually, like, intersect.
Precisely. GSSA, they emphasize the importance of sustainable practices, especially in things like mining, resource extraction. It's not just about digging things up, it's about understanding the long-term impacts, the environmental impacts, and finding ways to minimize them. In fact, they have a whole section on their website dedicated to responsible mining and how geoscientists play a key role in that.
That's a side of geology I hadn't really considered before.
Right.
It's like you're not just studying rocks. You're studying how to interact with the earth in a way that's, protects its future.
Exactly. And the cool part is they offer student memberships with reduced fees, so you can tap into this network, all this knowledge, all this expertise while you're still in school. They even have like special events and workshops designed just for students and young professionals.
Okay, GSSA is officially on my list to check out.
Awesome.
Now, what about SACSI, the South African Chemical Institute?
Mm.
I'm guessing that one's a little bit more obvious in terms of, like, the environmental connections.
You'd be right. I mean, environmental chemistry, it's crucial.
Yeah.
But what's cool about SAGSI is how they connect it to real-world applications. So, for example, they have a whole division dedicated to water treatment and pollution control. So imagine, being able to analyze water samples, identify contaminants, and help develop solutions to protect our precious water resources.
It's like being a water detective.
Right.
That's amazing. To think that chemistry can play such a direct role in solving those problems.
Incredibly empowering. And SASCI also offers these fantastic mentorship programs, so students can connect with experienced chemists who are working in these different environmental fields. You can learn from the best, get career advice, maybe even land an internship or a research opportunity.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
It's not just the knowledge and the credentials, it's the connections
Exactly.
and the guidance you get along the way.
Absolutely. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the Grassland Society of Southern Africa,
Okay.
or GSSA. This one might surprise you,
Okay.
but it has profound implications for the environment, even beyond just grassland
All
ecosystems.
right, I'm all ears. What makes GSSA so special?
Well, as you might guess, they're all about sustainable grassland management. But, if we connect this to the bigger picture, you see how it links to things like climate change, biodiversity conservation, even food security.
Wait, hold on. How does managing grasslands connect to climate change?
Okay, so healthy grasslands are incredible carbon sinks. They absorb and store vast amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So by promoting, sustainable grazing practices, protecting these ecosystems, we can actually help mitigate climate change.
Wow, that's a connection I never would have made.
Right.
Suddenly, grasslands seem a lot more important.
They're crucial. And GSSA is at the forefront of this field. They're doing research, developing best practices, advocating for policies that protect these vital ecosystems. Plus, they also offer student memberships. So you get access to their journals, their workshops, this whole network of experts who are so passionate about grasslands.
Okay, I'm officially convinced that joining these organizations is like a no-brainer
Good.
for anyone serious about an environmental career.
Yeah.
But let's be real for a second. Students, we're already juggling classes, exams, maybe even part-time jobs. Is it realistic to add another commitment to the mix?
It's all about finding that balance.
Right.
But I truly believe the time investment is worth it. And plus, these organizations, they understand. They understand the demands on students' time, on their budgets. So a lot of them offer, flexible involvement options.
Okay.
And, as we've mentioned, those discounted student membership rates.
So you don't have to, become a board member or anything.
No.
You can kind of tailor it
Exactly.
to fit your schedule.
Even just attending a few events throughout the year, reading their publications, connecting with other members online, that can give you valuable insights and make a big difference in your career.
So it's like planting those seeds early on.
Yeah.
That will, blossom into this rewarding and impactful career later. But let's get even more specific. Can you give me some, tangible examples of how joining these organizations can benefit students, right now?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, you gain access to knowledge. Think industry journals, research papers, webinars, workshops, all curated to keep you at the forefront of your field.
It's like having a backstage pass to the environmental world.
Exactly. And then there's the networking aspect. So, attending conferences, workshops, you get to meet people who are already doing the work you aspire to.
I'm picturing myself at a conference, striking up a conversation with someone who's, leading a groundbreaking conservation project.
Right. The possibilities are endless.
The possibilities are endless.
You never know who you might meet.
Yeah.
That casual chat could turn into a mentorship, an internship, even a job offer down the line.
Okay, the networking piece is huge.
Huge.
I know so many people who have landed their dream jobs through connections they made at conferences or through professional organizations.
It's not just what you know.
It's who you know.
It's who you know. Exactly.
Right.
And these organizations, they make it so much easier to build those meaningful connections. Plus, let's not forget the impact it has on a resume. It shows potential employers that you're serious, you're committed to your professional development, you're actively seeking out opportunities to learn and grow.
It's like a signal flare that says, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm passionate. I'm ready to make a difference.
Exactly. And that you're not just passively looking for a job, but that you're actually, investing in your future.
Okay, I'm sold. Joining these organizations, no brainer.
Yeah.
Anyone serious about an environmental career in South Africa, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
But with so many options, how do you choose the right one for you, for your specific goals?
It's all about aligning your passions and your career aspirations with the organization's focus. We've talked about a few, but there are tons more out there.
Right.
Don't be afraid to explore, see which ones resonate with you the most.
So do your research, visit their websites, maybe even attend an event or two.
Exactly. And a lot of organizations offer free trial memberships or student discounts.
Oh, nice.
So you can kind of dip your toes in the water before fully committing. It's like test driving a car before you buy it. Make sure it's the right fit for you.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
But let's say you found the perfect organization. You've signed up. You're officially a member. What are some pro tips for making the most of that membership?
Okay. First and foremost, be an active participant.
Right.
Don't just pay your dues and sit back.
Yeah.
Attend events. Join committees, contribute to discussions.
Okay.
The more you put in, the more you get out.
So it's about treating it like a community,
Yes,
not just a transaction.
exactly. Network, ask questions, volunteer for opportunities, make yourself known, build those connections, and don't be afraid to reach out to, more experienced members.
Yeah.
Most professionals, they're happy to share their insights, share advice with people who are just starting out.
It's like having a built-in mentorship program.
Exactly.
And speaking of mentorship, a lot of these organizations offer formal mentorship programs, right?
Yes, they do. And those can be incredibly valuable
Yeah.
for connecting with someone who can really guide you through the ins and outs of the field, help you navigate your career path, and even introduce you to potential employers.
Huh? Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here today,
We have.
from the why to the how of joining these organizations. But before we wrap things up, I want to kind of circle back to something we touched on earlier.
What?
We've talked a lot about, like, the career benefits, but let's not forget the impact these organizations have on the environment itself.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
These organizations, they play a vital role in advocating for environmental protection, shaping policies, promoting sustainable practices. By joining them, you're not just advancing your career, you're becoming part of a collective force for positive change.
And that's what it's all about, right?
Right.
Making a difference for our planet, for future generations. I love that. So we've talked about the importance of joining environmental organizations, the benefits they offer, even some tips for making the most of your membership,
Right.
and, really getting into the nitty-gritty of environmental organizations in South Africa.
Yeah, and how they can be a game changer, especially if you're a student or a recent grad looking to make a splash in this field.
And I think, what we've really highlighted is that it's not just about adding a line to your resume.
Oh, absolutely not. It's so much more than that.
We're talking about IAPASA, SEC, IAIA.
Right, and so many others.
The key takeaway, though, is that joining these organizations is about investing in your future. It's about
Right.
connecting with a passionate community. It's about gaining a real advantage in what can be a really competitive job market.
It's almost like, having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
I like that. And the best part is, you don't have to wait until you're like a seasoned professional with years of experience to tap into these benefits.
At earlier, the better, I always say.
Agree.
Starting as a student member or a candidate member gives you that chance to build your knowledge, your network, even your credentials kind of gradually.
Right, so that by the time you're ready to, hit the ground running in your career,
Mhm.
you're already ahead of the game.
You've got that foundation.
You've got that foundation. So as we wrap up our deep dive, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. Think about all the organizations we've discussed today. Which one sparked your curiosity the most? What possibilities do you see for yourself within that organization? What doors could it open for you in the environmental field? I encourage everyone listening to visit the websites of these organizations. We'll include all the links in the show notes. And really imagine yourself as part of that community. Read about their mission. Browse their resources. Picture yourself attending their events, connecting with other members, contributing to their work. The future of our planet depends on passionate individuals like you, and these organizations are here to support you every step of the way. So take that first step, explore your options, and get ready to embark on what I know will be an incredible environmental career journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.